What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to be taking on the treasure map Enel. So we're going to be doing a full playthrough using the teams that I've built for myself to take on this treasure map, just to show you guys the full breakdown of the treasure map. Now, before we get into that, we have the treasure map bazaar is now active on the game. So you can see the exchange button on the left hand side of the screen, and when you click that, you can have a look at awesome items that you can actually purchase with the blue treasure map tickets that you get through ranking up inside the treasure map, and also you get them for placement rewards, I believe, at the end of the treasure map, depending on what your rank is. So you can go ahead and buy a whole bunch of stuff, including potions, crystals, shards, orbs, and stuff like that for your characters to limit break them with. And you can also go ahead, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see you can buy tablets as well. Now, the tablets are very expensive, so I wouldn't really suggest wasting tickets on these unless if you've literally got everything else of pretty decent supply. Also, for all of those people who have missed a lot of the treasure map characters, you can actually click the buy character list, and you can see a whole bunch of different characters active here. You can go ahead and click on any single one of these characters. Hypothetically, a lot of people on my stream today were asking which are the best characters to pick up from this particular listing. I actually might make a separate video on that, talking about each of these guys at the moment and giving you guys the full breakdown of which ones are the best. But hypothetically, if you miss treasure map Big Mom, you can click on Big Mom, confirm that, and then we can see here you can actually go ahead and purchase the copies of Big Mom. You get a limited time 500 ticket purchase for one copy of the character, then every single other character will cost 1,000 after that. Also, you can buy the whole bundle here, where you can go ahead and spend 4,340 tickets, and you get all the limit break crystals to max limit break Big Mom. Also, you can even get some more copies of the skill books as well. Now, getting the skill books isn't as worth it. I mean, you could go ahead and feed the copies first and see if you could potentially get skill ups from that after you've max limit broken the character, but that is also an option as well. And you can buy singular shards, crystals, and orbs if you did miss, like, if you go like halfway through the treasure map and you only need a couple more of a certain type. So that is also an option that you can go ahead and do as well. So every other treasure map character that you have missed previously is now actually able to be purchased from the treasure map bazaar. But in today's video, we're going to be taking on the treasure map Enel. So I'm currently on navigation level 18. We're going to go ahead and take this on here. Currently, Enel for me has 3.21 million HP. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. Now, the thing that I've noticed definitely with this particular treasure map, there is a lot of the debuff that will reduce your dice rolls. So you know when you go ahead and roll the actual dial to see how many steps you move on the map, there are so many times that you can actually potentially land on these particular debuffs right here with the movement down. Now, this particular map was actually quite lucky because this is the quote-unquote secret map that what people were saying. I wouldn't even really call it a secret map at this point, but there is actually some pretty nice rewards available here. So let's go ahead and take this on. So another question that I got asked a billion times on my stream today as well was, what character should I be aiming for in the mid-map for this particular treasure map? Now, honestly, I would think it depends on your character box, but me just going ahead and looking at the characters, for characters like Shura and for Ohm, they're very, very easy to beat with free-to-play characters, but for Gidatsu and Satori, those two bosses might be a little bit difficult if you don't have a lot of other characters available to you. So in this video, we'll go through all the bosses anyway, so you guys can have a look at them, but I would recommend to go either for Satori or go for Gidatsu. Either one of those two characters I would suggest to beat in the mid-map. With Satori, it's kind of annoying because you need to have a lot of damage output. You need to kill Satori in one turn, otherwise you get dealt with really, really annoying debuffs. We actually did get the cooldown buff, and I understand why they give you the cooldown buff as well, because with this map, every single boss, for every 5 turns, you take lightning damage, and on the final boss Enel, you take lightning damage every 3 turns. So they want you to speed up your process a little bit, so there's lots and lots of cooldown reduction buffs. Okay, so here we have the Satori boss. This is one of the ones I would suggest to try and take down in the mid-map. So the team that I am going to be using for this is going to be a Katakuri team, but it isn't your typical Katakuri team, because we are going to go ahead and use a friend, Captain, Whitebeard, and Marco. This team has a 4.19 multiplier, so it is pretty strong. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. And now we've finally arrived at the final boss. Now, for Satori, he has a debuff protector, but at the end of the first turn, if you don't kill him, he can do a whole slew of different debuffs. So you really want to kill him in one turn. Also, whenever you activate an ability that gives you Orb Manipulation, he will go ahead and poison your crew as well, which further adds to the annoyance of this character. Although this is just the mid-map encounter, he's very, very easy to take down. He doesn't really have that much health at all. Very, very easy to take down. So let's go ahead and continue on with the treasure map. Okay, so now that we've gone ahead and beaten Satori, for this particular map here, we have a whole bunch of movement down debuffs. Now, we obviously would like to get around that, so let's see what we do here. We got a 1, so we can take that. We do have the stamina refill at the back there, which would actually be really, really cool to pick up. Let's see if we can get a 4. Unfortunately not, so we did pick it up, but this means that we do have an opportunity now to actually pick this up. So that would be really nice if we can go ahead and do that. Honestly, for free-to-play players, it might be enticing to always go for the rainbow chest, but honestly, if you can, I would suggest going ahead and trying to pick up the stamina refill as often as possible so you can get even more runs in with spending the least amount of rainbow gems. Okay, so now we've gone ahead and come at the crossroads here where we can go and fight either of these bosses. Now, I personally would want to go for the rainbow chest, so I am going to go towards this way, towards Ohm. So let's go ahead and see if we can go ahead and pick up the rainbow chest. We need to get a number 2 after this dice roll here, hopefully picking up that rainbow chest. Obviously, rainbow chest can have a lot of different stuff in it. It can have tablets, it can have potions. Unfortunately, we did miss it, but you can get quite unlucky and you can pick up a rainbow chest and it has stuff like berries or a turtle in it. So you can get quite unlucky, but most of the time, if you pick up a rainbow chest, it's going to give you much better stuff compared to stuff you'd get from just a golden chest. Okay, so now we have Ohm as our secondary boss that we're going to be taking on. Now, I'm building a fighter team for this particular fight. Now, if I do have a V3 Sabo friend captain, that's going to make this fight a little bit easier in terms of damage and points. So here we go. We do have 1 active right now. So this gives us a 4.72 times multiplier team. So this is a pretty insane point multiplier for just a mid-map boss, but it's really, really solid. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So on stage 6 here, we actually have the snake Nola, and Nola's really annoying because it actually will go ahead and paralyze half your crew and also give you a combo reduction. So we're actually going to go ahead and, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use my Gear 4 special ability on Nola just to go ahead and completely KO the snake so I can get that out of the way. And then we're also going to go ahead and take down this turtle. And now we move on to the final boss, which is Ohm. Now, Ohm is also surrounded by a bunch of characters here. They can be quite annoying to deal with, but if you have an AoE damage dealer, like you could use the quick Gear 4 Luffy, who would have amazing AoE damage for this particular fight. With this particular fight, you see that we actually have a full board of block orbs, they're locked, and we're also despaired. So we can use our Garben Sengoku special ability, which will also go ahead and get rid of the despair that we actually got given, and also gives us a 1.75 times attack and orb boost for our fighter characters. We're going to use our Sabo here first. Now, this is totally unnecessary. He just grants us a 3 times chain lock, but we're also going to go ahead and use our Pudding. Pudding is so good for this fight because she'll change the block orbs into matching orbs. So with this type of team, we have some pretty serious damage output, and yeah, we should be able to take him down very, very easily from this point here. Absolutely amazing amounts of damage. And that is going to last us for a pretty long time. So that was 11 million damage. Absolutely insane. Alright, so now we've taken down Ohm. Let's continue on with the map. Okay, so I do believe that you can only take down 2 of the bosses in any of the map variations for this particular treasure map. So we're going to continue on here, and once again, there's a whole bunch of these movement down debuffs. As I said, they are absolutely everywhere, riddled everywhere within this treasure map. And it's kind of annoying because for free-to-play players who are, you know, not wanting to spend as many gems for this map, they're not going to get as much time to play because they just keep getting their movements absolutely reduced by a significant amount. So now we've actually reached the final spot, the Battle Rush. Now we're going to be taking on Shura. So Shura, I think, is one of the more easier ones to take down, and I think a lot of people will be able to take them down relatively easily if you're building a team with Treasure Map Ace. But we're actually going to be using a team here, which is a Treasure Map Ace and a friend Enel team. Now, I also have Enel on my own team. This team is a 3.77 times team, which is, again, pretty good for a Battle Rush mid-map boss. I think it's pretty solid. But this team actually has 2 Treasure Map Enels on it. Now, I've already maxed mine out. You don't have to have your own Enel to make this fight even easier, but for higher difficulty quests, like on higher nav levels, I'm probably going to change it up and then run double ace again. But this team works really well because you can actually take down all of these mini-boss stages really easily with the captain effect of Enel, who will go ahead and deal 50,000 damage at the end of each turn. Now, for this first turn, we've got the lizards here, so they can be quite annoying to take down. But after we take down the lizards, the rest of this fight is significantly easier, and we'll get to the final boss, and you guys will see how amazing this team actually is. So now that we've taken down all of these stages very, very easily, we move on to the final boss stage with Shura. Shura binds 2 of your characters for 3 turns, as well as giving you a full board of block orbs. Now, the way that I am using this team is I'm literally just using the special abilities of Enel to deal lots of AoE damage. Now, the really cool thing is if you notice, the Sailor ability of my own treasure map Enel as a sub is activating. Whenever another unit uses a special, he reduces his own cooldown by 5 turns. So with all these specials that we can activate, we can get treasure map Enel special to activate multiple times in 1 turn. So once again, we've used a few specials here, and we have it up once again, and we can go boom. We can also use our treasure map ace special to give us even more damage output if he doesn't die. But yeah, this team is actually going to be pretty solid for now, and once again, once it does get quite difficult, I can change this around and run double treasure map ace for more damage output against this character. So now that we've taken down Shura, our next boss, or the final of the Battle Rush bosses, is going to be Gidatsu. Now, this is the one that I was mentioning before that I think a lot of people might kind of struggle with, because he is quite annoying, and there aren't that many good characters that you can really abuse in order to get around the debuffs that he does kind of apply. So let's go ahead and get into this. I am using a double Zoro team with the Shanks and Mihawk as a sub. This character is quite key for this team because he removes Special Bind with his special ability, and he also reduces it on himself with his Sailor ability. So he's going to be quite key for this fight, and basically the Raid Zoro as well. Raid Zoro is really good because he reduces % damage reduction on the enemy side of the field. So having those 2 characters, Shanks and Mihawk and Zoro, enables you to get around all the debuffs, but then you got to apply boosts on top of that. So you guys will see how this team works, and we'll get straight into it. So now we're at the final boss stage against Gidatsu, and he actually has one other mob character with him for some unknown reason. So Gidatsu, as I said, he has Special Bind, he also has % damage reduction. So we can go ahead and use our Shanks and Mihawk special ability to remove the Special Bind on our crew. We're going to use our Cavendish first. Make sure to use your Cavendish as soon as you get it, and then use the Zoro special, because if you go ahead and use Zoro first, and then Cavendish, Cavendish removes all positive buffs, so you won't get the color affinity boost that this particular Zoro character puts on your crew. And at this point, if you don't get a matching orb on one of your Dex characters, either Moria or the other character I have here, I actually have the Moria special to give himself a matching orb if I do so choose to. We're just going to do it for an extra bit of damage here, and then we can go ahead and take him down with all of our boost active on our crew. And this team should last a decent amount of time, but once the team is unable to take down Gidatsu, I might have to change some characters around to enable me to make sure that I do get some more matching orbs in order to take this guy down. So now that we've finally beaten all of the bosses with Shura, Satori, Gidatsu, and Ohm, we're going to move on now to the Treasure Map NL final boss. So the team that I am using is a 6-star plus NL team, and we're using a friend captain, which is going to be Legend Shiki. So we're going to hopefully find a Legend Shiki. There we go. We got one there. We're looking mighty fine. This is the team that I'm using here with Treasure Map Big Mom for some really nice boosts. Gilta Zoro pretty much as just a point booster unit. We've got the 2 Treasure Map Rare Recruits with Luffy and Garn for, using my own NL as a captain, and with a friend Shiki, 12.75 times multiplier. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. Now, as I said before, all of the previous bosses have every 5 turns, there's going to be lightning that hits your crew. With this fight, it's every 3 turns. Now, if you guys are using a team like running, I don't know, just a friend Shiki and something else, You got to remember that if you use Shiki special on turn 1 and you kill Enel, he does revive. So the thing is if you have really low health and you don't count the lightning turns, or you don't heal during that turn, then you might actually die from the lightning damage. He also has end of turn damage on the final boss too, so it might be quite tricky for a lot of teams. But anyways, what we want to be doing here is, for this particular team, I gotta try and find some recovery orbs to make sure that I have enough overhealing so that Enel's damage from his special actually does some decent damage output. We've got a few here now, which is good, but one of the main things is we do have that final boss, whoa, holy crap, that was really weird. I know you guys saw that, the character went off the screen, but we have the Enel on stage 6 that we have to account for as well, so we're going to make sure that we actually get enough healing on stage 5, so that we have enough damage on stage 6, to make sure that we can actually kill that Enel a little bit easier. So we've got to try and get a little bit more recovery orbs here. It hasn't been too great in terms of RNG for these recovery orbs. Obviously, if you're running double NL captain, you get way more recovery orbs appearing on your side of the field. But for us right now, it has been kind of unlucky for these recovery orbs. Hopefully, we can get a couple more. There we go. Always good to see. Use this one here as well. And boom, no, attack the other guy. We want to make sure we don't take damage. Okay, and we got another 2 recovery orbs. I'm actually going to save these recovery orbs now so I can use them on stage 5, because stage 5 there's actually another miniature boss that will actually take down. You guys will see that in a minute when we actually get to it. But there is actually another mini boss, which is, I think his name is Yama, and he is quite annoying because it makes some other specific teams kind of annoying to run against him, because you'll see here, stage 5, Yama appears, and he actually gives you the increased damage taken debuff. Now, if you don't have a character to get rid of the bind and attack down on stage 6, you'll have to tank hits from Enel, and you know, if you've got increased damage taken, that's going to do a lot of damage. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this time here and make sure we pick up the recovery orbs here so that our final boss stage is going to be a little bit easier. So we've taken out stage 5, move on to stage 6, which is the mini boss Enel, not the final boss. Now Enel will go ahead and bind your top row for 4 turns, I believe, and gives you a 3-turn attack down. So we can use our Garnfor here to completely remove the bind and attack down. Gives us a couple matching orbs as well, which is pretty nice. We're going to go pick up this recovery orb, bam, and attack in the right order for Shiki's captain effect. And with enough damage output, boom, we can kill that Enel. So as long as you get a decent amount of healing on stage 5, the stage 6 Enel is going to be pretty easy. So now we move on to the final boss stage with Enel here. So we're going to go ahead and use our Big Mom and then our Shiki special. But you see he has a whole bunch of different effects that activate here. He will go ahead and make Psi, Int, and Strength orbs count as negative for 5 turns. He also blinds you for 10 turns, and for the next 5 turns you get end of damage dealt to you. So that's going to be also very annoying to take care of. But as I said, we're going to use our Big Mom special first. Big Mom will go ahead and give us all those G orbs. We're going to go ahead and use our Giltazora special, which does a lot of damage as well, and also gives us our 3.25 chain lock. Then we're going to use our our Shiki, who gives us a full border recovery, as well as doing a pretty good amount of damage to the Enel. Now, when we actually do some damage here, as I said, you know, you're at really low health, and I didn't actually count the turns properly, but you want to try and pick up a couple recovery orbs to make sure that you have enough damage or enough health that if you do take damage, you can actually survive the hit. So let's go ahead and do this. Attack with the Big Mom and pick up a couple recovery orbs along the way. Obviously, at the moment, we're doing a crap ton of damage to Enel, so it's not really that big of a problem. Now, you see here that he does revive with 30% of his health. He also has a barrier for 1 turn, a 5-hit good barrier. And that's going to be really annoying to deal with, as well as having a 200,000 defensive shield. We're going to use our treasure map Luffy to get rid of the barrier and also reduce his defense to 0. Another character you can use instead of this Luffy would be Raid Blackbeard. He's very, very good for this fight. And then we're going to go ahead and use our Enel special. It probably won't kill. No, it didn't kill him, but he's at such low health that it really doesn't matter at that point. And we're able to kill Enel. So this is the teams that I've been running against the treasure map so far. And as I said, as time goes on, as I get to higher navigation levels, I probably will have to shift my characters around to accommodate for the more increased health on the enemy side of the field. But it's really nice that we have the anniversary ship for this treasure map, because we get 3 times EXP and 3 times berries. So every time you beat Enel, you get 60,000 EXP on the New World League, which is very, very good. So how many points did I get from that? 364k is pretty nice. Pretty nice. So we're nearly at the 5 million, and I have been recording all my ticket pulls along the way as well. So once we get all the rewards from the red tickets from the actual ranking rewards, I'll be making another video showing you guys all the ticket pulls. But that is going to conclude the video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.